We have a brand new 15.6 inch, essentially a tablet, that we're going to be installing in this truck today. So today we partnered with Aucar Auto. They sent over this vertical head unit, Model T style. That's this guy right here. Now, depending on the original features and options, the trim level for your compatible vehicle, you will need to spec it out to be specific to your vehicle to make sure that you get everything that you need. For example, we have all of these cables here. Mine's not going to require a few of them because I have the 8-inch full tech package, 360 cameras. I'm not going to necessarily need those cables there, but I'll probably utilize most of these, which I'll cover in today's video. But I'm really excited to get this larger screen in here. But before we rush to the install, let's go over what we have on the table today. So this is the box it was shipped in. It shows it's installed on a Denali. So I know I have the same trim level as a Denali. I just don't have a Denali. I have an AT4, but all the other stuff is the same as a Denali. So to see that that's already installed in one is comforting. We have our warranty card. We have SIM card adapters. Yes, that's right. You can have a data plan hooked up to your SIM card cable, and you can have internet wherever you have service. So that's an option. I'll probably use a phone hotspot to get internet. We have our installation manual here. Got some QR codes to help with setup and install. But what I like is there is a breakdown of everything in here for you. And I am going to definitely reference this as I go through the install. So this will be my guide a little bit along the way. And then this is really nice. You don't see this very often with, products like this, international products we'll say, where they give you a nice full color, pretty well written tutorial on all of the basic usage functions of the unit itself. I'll do a separate video after I've had some time to use this, but as you can see, it's not even installed yet. So today's video is going to be a thorough installation and then make sure that we have everything up and running and see what challenges, if any, we run into. Let me just highlight some of the cables that I've laid out on the table for you. We have the ability now to hook up an auxiliary camera above and beyond the cameras that are already on the vehicle. We have a speaker or a buzzer and an adapter cable for it. I think this is how we can hear some of the alerts on top of the factory car radio. We have some more adapter cables here. We have some trim plates just to make sure that aesthetically it matches the interior. We have the extra cables I was talking about. They're just adapter cables depending on the trim level that you have. So we're not going to pay too much attention to those because I'm not going to use them. We have an additional microphone here. I think this still uses the factory microphone, but you can always hook up an additional microphone. I've heard reports that it can be better to do that. We'll see. We have some LTE antennas here. We have another GPS antenna. This is the SIM card tray that just pops off. You put your SIM card in there. And then we have an additional USB connector. We'll figure out if the original USBs still work. I think they will, and this is just an extra. So let's get started with taking out the original system. First, you need to remove this bolt on the driver's side. There's not one on the passenger side. It is a 7mm bolt or screw, whatever you want to call it. Got to remove it. Now next, you need to pop off these panels. Now that that screw's undone, we can pop these off. Just pull towards you, you'll see a series of clips. Just keep pulling along. They'll eventually release. You'll have to do that down here as well. And then this has to pull forward. Now I have a sensor here for my ambient lighting, so you can ignore that. Ooh, it's pretty dusty. How embarrassing. I'll have to clean that later. Now that this is pulled off on this side, we got to do the same on the other side, and that will allow us to pull this tray up and out. You just want to make sure you go as far back as these two clips, because this has to be able to lift out, and you can see those would prevent that. Now just a note, not all of you would have this. This is just laying in here because it seems to fit perfectly. This is just some of my auxiliary lighting. So ignore that, you're not going to have that. So now we want to pry this tray up. You can get a pry tool in here. That'll be the first couple clips, and then once you grab that, you can leverage it a little better. So that's what we'll do next. A little protection never hurt anybody. So that can help a little bit. If that makes you feel better. Get your pry tool in there. Just release the clip. I'm not going to protect this side because I'm savage. There, that's released. Now we can lift it up. So I just did that one-handed. So you can see it's not that difficult. Watch out for these cables. You're gonna have to disconnect them if you have them. So we are going to do that next. Now there's also the induction charger cable here. I had mine disconnected because of this switch panel that I put here. And I have an aftermarket induction charger in my armrest, so I don't use this one down here because it's brutally slow. Now we can pull this out and set it aside. Now out of all of the trim pieces on this truck, I despise this one the most because its angle to pull out is just not friendly. It's got to pull this way, but it's really hard to get anything to pull it that way. There's a clip in the middle, and I think there's one here and here and here, but you're just gonna have to work at it and be careful because it is a flimsy piece. So you just want to take your time. A pry tool can help, but I am going to try with my fingers because I'm recording with a camera. So there's an example of the clips there. Ignore this wiring, that's part of my ambient lighting that I installed many years ago. But we're getting there, be careful. I'm gonna go on the other side and then do the middle last. We did it, my friends. So now you can set that aside. Next, we want to remove this trim piece. You can put some tape in an area that you might feel like you need to pry. Protection never hurts, like I said. You really just want to get your fingers in there. And then you can pry it off and set that aside. Now we have 6. You can hear I'm having some of them click back in. It can be annoying. We have a brand new 15.6 inch, essentially a tablet that we're going to be installing in this truck today. So today we partnered with Aucar Auto. They sent over this vertical head unit, Model T style.